Human beings, we use inferences all the time. The entire concept of science, the scientific method is based upon inference. That's what we do. We analyze facts and we give them an explanation, and that's what science is. And we repeat the process, scientific method. Form a hypothesis, perform the results, repeat the process, keep doing it, and that's exactly what we're doing. So when you say proof, or you say proof, that's exactly what the proof is. It's an inference that's taking place, and that's what basically proof is defined. If you want to say proof is in terms of mathematical proof, you can't prove anything else in mathematics. You can't prove emotions. You can't prove that your wife loves you. You can't prove that you can't prove that your parents are your parents. So we have to understand that people have this problem with can I prove it? Can you prove this? Can you prove that? What kind of proof are you asking for? You need to define that so that what I'm talking about is inference, like reasonable inference, not just blind inference.
Okay, actually basically going off his question, so on one of your slides, you were talking about, teaching evolution in school. So let's say, we take evolution out of school. What would you suggest that because I personally don't believe we can, replace it with something based on inference. Just without any sort of evidence. So what would you suggest we replace it with? What should we teach, high schoolers if we take evolution out of school?
Yeah, that's a very good question. It's a very good question. And like I said, the biggest problem in this is everyone is going to make the accusation that you're pushing your religion. If you're going to teach what's known as creationism, or you're going to teach this model of creation, like I told you, that everyone's going to say you're pushing your religious beliefs. Right, but you have to look at the other side as well. Is that when you are teaching evolution, you're also pushing religious beliefs, even though you're not directly saying it. But the inference is going to be made into a religion. So the same thing. What I'm saying is what we should do, my opinion at least, is somehow teach this creation model, but not with a specific religion. Not with a specific religion, and don't try and come up with a full explanation on transitional forms or on the formation of life or on anything, and just leave that out. Since we are a secular society, and that's fine. There's a lot of benefits in that. And I'm not saying we should all of a sudden change the entire society or change the entire system. Remain a secular society, but that doesn't mean you can keep the religion out of school, but you keep the idea. What I'm saying, the model, this creation model, you can present that without presenting a specific religion.
I liked your last quote, and a lot of talks that we about science's response to Christianity. But your last quote was from the Quran, and I was interested in you provide a little more insight. I like your last quote that I didn't quite understand it, but you filled out on it.
You mean the verse from the Quran?
Verse from the Quran.
Right.
It basically said that, this is my interpretation, that there will be others who try to provide a new explanation for things that have been given before, and that those should be ignored. I'm trying to figure it out.
Yeah, let me just get this back. Okay. The first quote or the second quote?
First.
The first one. Basically, you want an explanation of the quote.
Yeah, can you flesh that out for me?
Yeah, okay. Basically, what this is saying is, the Quran is saying here, so they say we found our predecessors following this way. So basically, this is talking about a certain prophet. Okay, there's several, Muslims believe that there are certain prophets that were sent, and they're talking about a certain prophet that came to a group of people, and he's telling them, you should believe in such, and you should do such and such, you should try and be good people, and this and that. And what they're saying is that we found our predecessors following the same. Basically, they're saying we're going to follow the religion of our fathers. We're going to follow the paradigm on everything that we found our fathers on. So we're not interested. So someone said this someone is actually a prophet that's speaking. This someone said, what? Even if I bring you something better. So he's basically making arguments. Says, look, he's telling everyone, and especially every American can have this direct link with this. Is that, look, see, don't follow the religion of your parents just because the religion of your parents. You have to become independent. And once you reach a stage of maturity, because in Islam, there's what's called taklif. Taklif means it's accountability. So once you reach a stage, an age of maturity, you're going to be held responsible for what you can do. Like in law, it's the same thing. Minors are, if a 7-year-old does something bad, you're not necessarily going to hold them accountable. The same thing. So once you reach that state of maturity, you should become independent. You should not blindly follow what your fathers or what your parents have taught you, or what your school education has taught you, or what your professors have taught you. So that's exactly what the argument that he's making. And what they're saying is, we deny that which we've been sent. So you know what? We don't care what you have to say. We don't want to think about this. That's exactly what this quote is saying. So it's presenting this very revolutionary concept, in which really as Americans they feel it directly. Because I grew up that way. I feel it directly, especially if you come with that certain pop cultures. You say, look, I want to be a rebel. I don't want to be independent. And in fact, it's interesting because just last Friday I gave the sermon here I gave in UCI. It's called "Be a Rebel, but with a Cause," not without a cause. It's on my website, by the way. You can listen to it. It's called "Be a Rebel with a Cause," because that's the point. See, I like American culture in the sense that it promotes that rebellion. But the only thing I don't like about it is got that James Dean, be a rebel without a cause. Just be a rebel for the sake of it. No, be a rebel, but because there's a good reason to do it, with the cause. And that's precisely what the Quran is saying. Be a rebel with a cause.
I was wondering if you could comment on the Islamic concept of creationism and the existence of the earth before human inhabitants, and also the definition or lack of definition of time except for the creation itself. And just maybe compare a little bit how it differs from that previous slide we were talking about the earth being.
The earth creationism? Alright. Yeah, so the question basically is, what does Islam have to say about, for example, concepts like young earth creationism, Noah's flood being universal, and what was the last one?
Inhabitants, like the earth existing before the inhabitants.
Right. Okay, like the age of the earth, basically, in terms of radiometric dating methods and things like that.
Well, do we have the concept that it exists before humans or do we like first?
Oh, okay. So, what the Quran says basically on that, in terms of the first one, the earth creationism, we don't have in the Quran. We don't have these genealogies. We don't have the specific dates because the Quran is not interested in telling you, for example, in terms of Noah and Moses and Jesus, telling you, exactly what date they lived, or telling you exactly what place they lived. All it's interested in doing is telling you about their story and what lessons you can learn from it. So the rest of it is open. It doesn't tell you anything. So you don't have this. You don't have anyone taking the genealogies and making an estimate for the approximate age of human beings, for example. So that's not an issue because it's not mentioned. And the second thing, in terms of the Noah's flood being universal as well, it doesn't indicate the universal flood. So in the culture generally, most people have this idea. Once again, like I told you, the picture is in your mind. You get this picture of your mind of this like giant ark. You got like all the animals sticking out, and like you got like the giraffe saying hello, and these type of things, right? You see it all over the place. I'm not making fun of it necessarily, but I'm just saying that that's the picture in your mind. Okay, that's the picture in your mind, and there's serious scientific problems in that because how did all the species get there? Was the flood universal? Is there evidence?